Hey, I'm John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and I want to give you the 2018 market report for Lake Martin Real Estate. Here we go. These numbers I got from the Lake Martin Real Estate, the MLS, and what I'm going to compare is these are all year sales, and this is the entire lake, all agents, all brokerages, everybody. So how did it do? Well, let's check it out. In 2013, just trying to give you a little perspective here. In 2013, we had 263 waterfront homes sold in that year. In 2014, it was 284 right here. In 2015 at that time was the best year ever. And we had 351 sales in 2015. And that was the record. 2016, we dipped down a little bit to 307. And then 2017, which I think is still the best year ever, right here, 363 homes sold in the year of all of 2017. Now, what did we do in 2018? We're down. This year, all agents, all brokerages, waterfront home sales at Lake Martin was 297 waterfront homes sold. That is a decrease of 18%. Okay, so we are down 18%. We've looked at this a little bit. We've wondered, hey, how are we going to shake out? Well, we shook out 18% down from the prior year. As you can see, it was a build-up. 17. Now, what's going to happen next year? We don't know. Maybe it'll be another yo-yo year. Maybe we'll leapfrog again like we did in 16. Because we thought 15 was the best, 16 was down, 17 hopped above it. What's going to happen? I'm not really sure, but I think that the evidence, as we're going to see a little bit later, that I think the evidence shows us that 2017 was the peak of our sellers market. And so let me show you a couple other stats, because halfway through 2018, when we were down and trailing 2017, the excuse was, well, inventory. We don't have the amount of inventory that we need to catch 2017. As a matter of fact, about halfway through, we had fewer homes for sale. What's the story now? Let's look at it. Okay, these are waterfront homes for sale in December of each of these years. The reason I picked December is Lake Martin is a cyclical market. There's my kids back there. Lake Martin is a cyclical market in that we're seasonal. Most of our sales happen between March and, let's say, October, November. And so December, the inventory that's sitting on there in December, I'm not saying it's left over, but I am saying I think it's a good, consistent point to look at, because it's usually in the bottom, the trough of all of our inventory per year. So let's see what this trend looked like. Okay, so these waterfront homes for sale in December. In 2013, there were 239 in December. 2014, it changed a little bit, 228. In 2015, that lowered to 200. See a trend here as we're climbing into more of a seller's market. The sales were going up, inventory was coming down. 16, how many do we have in 16? 171. That's actually supposed to be lower. Okay, in 17, there were 150 homes for sale in December at the end of 2017. What's the deal in 2018? 190. Yeah, that says 190. 190 waterfront homes for sale at the end of December. The difference here is a 27% increase. So you can see here, decreasing homes for sale, decreasing inventory, but it jumps up here in 2018. Now, we step back and we look at those two statistics. We've got decreased numbers of homes sold in 18, an increase in numbers of homes for sale. You can't really call yourself a seller's market when that's happening. So that's why I think it's going to be, that's why I think we peaked in our seller's market in 2017. All right, let's look at lots. I also look at lots a lot. These are year-to-date waterfront lots sold in these years. Let's see if the trends continue here. In 2013, we had 71. 2014, we had 74 lots for sale. Again, these are all agents, all brokerages, the entire lake of Lake Martin. 82 in 2015. That was the peak there. We had 76 in 16. Last year, in 2017, the number one year in home sales, interestingly enough, was not the number one home sales in lots. What did we do in 18? We're up to 69. So it was a 15% increase in the numbers of lots sold. So that's positive. But we also had a couple of new neighborhoods come on the market in 2018 that weren't there in 17. And even though Lake Martin is huge, 880 miles of shoreline, it's relatively a small market, as you see. And so when you have one, like Kennebec, for instance, is a neighborhood that I get to plug because I'm the listing agent. That was 41 lots, and I think probably 7 of those sold in 2018. So that's a difference right there. So that's another thing to think about. So what is another, like when I think of like sellers markets, buyers markets, whatever's going on in the market, I think of a lot of different aspects of inputs. One input obviously is prices. We had talked about that. One input is sales. One input is inventory. Another input is real estate agents. What do I mean by that? I mean the sheer raw number of real estate agents that are on the ground, on the lake, scrapping for sales, right? Let's see what the trend of the numbers. All right, here's what I've got here. Number of agents in December. Now this is in the Lake Martin Area Association of Realtors. All over the state of Alabama, we have all these different associations. Here, whoever that is, if you're calling me, have to hang on. Okay, so how many agents? Let's look at some trends. I went all the way back to 2010 for this because 2010, I think, 8 was the bottom of the buyer's market, and then it started climbing up, and I think it leveled off in 10, 11, and 12, and so that's why I went back this far. But this is kind of interesting. I looked this up, and I got our association executive to look this up for me. All right, so in 2010, there were 88 agents in our association. Okay, all right, great. 2011, it was steady, 89. 2012, so I must have got mad and quit. It was 88. 2013, still 88. All right, so we're level for 4 years. And so then in 2014, things are picking up a little bit. We went up to 109 agents in all of our association. And I know, again, this sounds like tiny. I realize we're podunk. All of you people out there watching from Manhattan, I'm sure there are many of you are there. Yes, I know we're tiny. But look at the increase. That is a big jump right there. From 2013 to 14, that's a 24% increase in the number of agents in our market. Now, I don't care what business you're in. You think about it. What if in 1 year you had a 24% increase in competition? Would that affect your business? Sure it would. All right, 2015, we're up to 127. That's a 17% increase. 2016, we're up to 132. 2017, the peak of the seller's market, I think, we're up to 146. 2018, we ain't stopping, baby. It's 164. We've got 164 agents in our tiny little association, which is great. It's awesome. It's the best little association there was. We love it. But I'm just pointing out, there's 164 agents in our association now, and that is up 100. That's 86% greater. That's basically 186%. Okay, almost double of what it was in 2013. Wow. And now some of you may be watching this and going, okay, John, big deal. It's normal. That's natural. People get into real estate in sellers markets. And that's great. I'm for it. Macroeconomically, I think real estate agents, it's a great profession. There's low barriers to entry. It's part of the American dream. I am nothing if not a capitalist. I am glad people are entering in. But looking at it, I think, some of these folks are new to the association. They're agents elsewhere, and they're coming into our association too and transferring not maybe transferring, but adding our association to theirs too. Hey, and that's great too. It's fine. It's not a bad thing. I'm just pointing out that as a cycle, people don't get into real estate when the market is going down into a buyer's market. They just don't. So we are almost double of where we were nearly 5 years ago in our association. Another one of those just anecdotal things that I think points to that. Now, maybe there's 1 or 2 people out there that are still watching this video. And of those 1 or 2 people, maybe a half of you is a real estate agent. And you might say to me, John, well, I know why we have an increase now. It was actually 4 people, is what my wife is saying. I know why you had an increase here, and that's because there's like an association of choice or something, rule change. Anyway, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, okay, but I'm just going to paraphrase. 3 or 4 years ago, if you were a member, let's say in Birmingham, and you were a member of a team of 20 agents, and y'all were all in Birmingham, and that's where your home court was. If you wanted to also join, if one person in your group also wanted to join the Lake Martin Association, you all had to join. And so that was a big deal, right? Because you had to go around to 19 other agents and convince them to pay all the fees and go down and take all the classes and all that stuff. Big deal, big hassle. That changed either 17 or 16. I don't really remember when. Anyway, now if you're a member of a 20-person group in Birmingham or Huntsville or wherever you are, and just one of you wants to join Lake Martin, you can. Similarly, if you're a 30-person team in Lake Martin and just one of you wants to join Auburn, you can. You don't have to everybody join. And so some real estate nerds like myself might say, well, that's your 186% increase right there. No, not really. Look, because most of the increase, when I say most, a hunk of that increase was from 13 to 14 and then 14 to 15. And yeah, that's big. And that's probably it has an effect. I'm not saying it's not an effect, but the bottom line, when you step back at it, you look at the Lake Martin market. We have decreasing numbers of homes sold. We have increasing amount of inventory. Prices, my gut tells me, prices didn't do anything in 18, and I don't think they're going to do anything in 19. And when you pile all that together, I just don't think we can say we're a seller's market. I talk to potential sellers all the time. This is not bad news, right? This is not, this doesn't mean we're going to jump into a crash, because I don't think we are. But what it does mean is, if you're thinking about selling your home in 2019, you must take this into account. You can't count. I wish you could, but I don't think we're going to be able to count for a price increase in 19. So if you price your home in 19, counting for that bump, I don't think it's going to be there. Now, it's January, whatever it is, 22nd. Here I am looking forward into the whole year. But, this is what they pay me the big bucks on Facebook Live to do, and that is make guesses. And that's my guess for this year at least. What does it mean for buyers? For buyers, I think it's good news. I think if the savvy seller will realize, hey, I'm not going to be obnoxious with my price, and a savvy buyer will know, now's probably a pretty good time to start looking again if sellers get more realistic. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But again, it's just a cycle. I think it's going to be okay. Here are the numbers. If you have any questions, please, you can comment on this video, or you can, just give me a call. My name is John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty. Thanks.